The Senate continues its deliberations on the state budget. We talk Medicaid with State Senator Dave Burke on this week's Senate Report. This week we are in the North Hearing Room of the Senate building as the Senate continues to deliberate the state budget. And joining me this week to talk a little bit about that is Senator Dave Burke. Senator, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, John.
I guess before we talk about the budget, you have been tasked with leading a Medicaid task force to talk about overall reforms of that system. Can you tell us a little bit about what that plan is?
Certainly. This kind of grew out of the expansion concept. We've been listening, as you know, for a while in the Senate to the issues the House has been working on, to our constituents out in the district, and have kind of developed a theme of reform. So I don't think folks are opposed to giving care to more people. I just want to make sure that we're going to do it in a way that moves people's lives forward. That would be a little bit more on the reform side of Medicaid, and that's the avenue that we're going.
So what are some of the priorities that you hope to reach through this task force?
Well, there's several. I mean, one of which would be engagement by the individual themselves to develop a glide slope to personal and self-reliance, if possible. Certainly have a lot of people whose lives are in difficult situations, infants born with serious conditions, adults who become injured during life, seniors in nursing homes. But, you know, we have a lot of folks, too, that we need to build a path towards self-reliance and hook that in with job training, personal engagement, things that measure outcomes rather than outputs, as well as looking at ourselves as a General Assembly and engaging more in an oversight process where we set the bar for the administration and the department to meet those demands rather than consistently legislate them.
So what's the timetable for this? I know that there's been talk about maybe June, maybe the end of the year. Is there really a timeline?
We don't have a real timeline per se, but I think any time that we can reform Medicaid, that's a positive thing. CMS has left the door a little wide open, to be honest with you, when it comes to states experimenting. I think that's a positive thing. The governor's office and the House have obviously been wrestling with this, but they've kited several things, so to say, and they've gotten a positive response. I think now that the bill's in the Senate, we have an open door as well.
So you have this task force, but at the same time, we're also continuing to talk about Medicaid and other things in the state budget. You're chairing the subcommittee, the Finance Subcommittee on Medicaid. Can you tell us what's going on in those hearings?
Well, Medicaid encompasses more than just the expansion in the Affordable Care Act. It deals with everything from the current health care system that Medicaid engages in, to foster children, to TANF, which is assistance for needy families. It deals with work provisions and the Workforce Investment Act. A lot of different areas continue to go on in social services, and they all need to be examined and reevaluated for effectiveness. So although we all like to focus on certain subject areas, really that's a smaller percentage of what actually goes on in Medicaid.
Senator, thanks so much for giving us a little bit of your time.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us. As always, you can find out more about what's going on at the Senate by visiting us on our social media pages, Facebook and Twitter, Instagram even, at Ohio Senate GOP, or visit our website, ohiosenate.gov/Republicans. Thanks for watching.